Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Warrior Wednesday. I want to start us out with a quote by BKS Iyengar. So if you want to just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths that allow you to be in a space of really hearing his words, this will set us off on our journey today. BKS Iyengar said this: yoga is when every cell of the body sings the song of the soul. Yoga is when every cell of the body sings the song of the soul. It's a really poetic and beautiful way to say the mind, the body, and the soul are connected here. That's our goal. It's what we're after. And if you're like me, you've been in your mind a lot this morning, maybe not paying much attention to the body and certainly not the soul. So you've heard the term Hatha Yoga, right? Hatha Yoga. And that's the general term for all of the kinds of yoga that we do here in the West. Whether you do Bikram, Anusara, Ashtanga, Vinyasa, which is what I teach, it's all under the umbrella of Hatha Yoga. And the goal of Hatha Yoga is to purify the vessel. Ooh, I get goosebumps anytime I hear that. Purify this vessel so that it becomes a place where every cell of the body sings the song of the soul. So we're going to start this practice. There will be some things different today. We'll hold poses a little bit longer. We'll stay in poses longer, which makes practice harder, I think. And the purpose is we're trying to unite that body, mind, and soul and not move so quickly through things. So if you'll join me, we're going to start standing with a modified version of this Kriya called Nali Kriya. And the idea here is we want to kind of churn the belly so that we can create some heat and some fire. So we'll start like this. Take your feet a little wider than hips distance apart. Put a bend in your knees and your hips back. So you're kind of in a chair. The hands are going to support the torso. So hands on the thighs. And we'll do this a few times. This is kind of strange, so you need a little practice. So you're going to take a deep breath in. And then exhale all the way out. Feel your belly really hugging up into your spine, almost like your navel is tucking into your rib cage. So really hollow out the front of your belly. And then inhale, big belly. Exhale, hollow. Inhale, expand. And exhale, hollow. And release that for just a second. So now the next part is, as soon as we get that belly hollow, we're going to suck in like a vacuum. And so you've already exhaled all the breath out. And the idea is think about bringing your belly up into your ribs. Okay, so it's going to go like this. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. And then exhale. So it's like you're trying to suck in without sucking in, right? You're closing things off. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the air out. Squeeze the belly. Inhale, pull the belly up into the rib cage. Hold, hold, hold. And release. Let's do one more of those. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. Suck it in. Hold, hold, hold. And release. Come on up, shake it out a bit. There's a third phase. So we empty all the breath out. We draw that navel in and up. And then we're going to try and pump the belly. So you're holding your breath and you've got this kind of vacuumy type of feeling. And then you're just going to try to pump your belly in and out using the muscles. So it's this cleansing, this kriya for our solar plexus, Gail, our digestive system, our fire. So let's go one more time and we'll add that churning. So take a deep breath in. Exhale out, belly to spine. Suck it in, pull the navel up into the rib cage. And then pump your belly with your muscles. Exhale. 2 more times. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. Suck in like a vacuum. Navel hugs up into rib cage. Hold and pump your belly. And release. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. Navel comes to spine, and then like a vacuum, suck the belly up into the rib cage, hold and pump. And exhale, release. Come to standing Tadasana at the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart, palms forward. Begin to take deep breaths in through your nose and out, making your feet wider, flatter, more firm on the earth. And then lift the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Firm up the low belly. Stick your chest out a little bit so your shoulders find a home on your back. Root down and inhale, arms overhead. If you can, if it feels okay to you, interlace your fingers. So you're pointing up, pressing down through the feet, and then see about gliding your arms back close to your ears, or maybe even slightly behind your ears. It depends on your shoulders. Root down, lift up, and let's find some Ujjayi breath. So just purifying the vessel. Each breath comes in like a breeze of fresh air. Each breath out, getting a little dust out of the corners. Take another deep breath in, fingers lift high, arms reach back. Find a little more of a back bend. And on an exhale, soften the knees, release the arms, come down into a forward fold. And here in this forward fold, touch your fingers to your elbows like you're a rag doll. Knees soft, head hanging down. If there's any strain in your back, bend your knees more. Notice your breath. Notice what's happening right now in your body. Where is there stagnant, stale energy that you're interested in moving through? And feeling our feet again, let's bring hands to shins, lift and lengthen into a flat back. Pause here, and this is a great place you could use, instead of your shins, you could use a blocks, or the floor. But we're trying to press out through the crown of the head. The knees can be bent. Taking deep breaths here that sweep through the body. Let's soften the knees a bit more. Let the fingertips come to the earth. Step your right foot back. Come into a low lunge. Recreate that left footprint. Come really high onto your back toes. Breathe here. And just feel what's happening here as you breathe into all of the cells of your body. Let's drop that back knee and we'll bring the front leg to meet the back leg. Shift your body forward, coming into a kneeling plank. Core stays strong and lower halfway down. Hold here. Hold here in this kneeling version of Chaturanga Dandasana. Elbows hug in, spine lengthens. Breathe deep. And then slowly melt your body to the earth. Come down onto your belly and lift up into Cobra. And in Cobra, the hands can just rest right here at the sides of your rib cage, allowing your spine to lift, your back body muscles to work. Deep breaths, moving the breath through the body. Let's exhale down, press to a tabletop, and then tuck the toes under, preparing for downward facing dog. Take a nice slow journey here into your downward facing dog. Start to pedal the heels, shift the weight. Anytime we find a place of resistance, tightness, or strain in the body, use breath. Use breath as a way to soften that edge, create more space and lightness there. Notice where those parts of your body really are calling for your attention. As we shift forward, let's drop the left knee to the mat and we'll bring the right foot forward. Creating that firm footprint, tuck the back toes and come into this low lunge on the second side. Deep breaths here. The word Hatha itself means opposites. Ha, sun, and Tha, moon. It's literally the word that describes the yin and yang symbol. So noticing the opposites of hard and soft, light and dark, easy and hard. Lengthen through the spine, soften the knees, and then just tiptoe that back foot to meet the front foot, returning to a half lift. Deep breath here, lengthening through the spine. Your hands can be on the ground or blocks. Shoulders pull on your back. Exhale, forward fold. Touch your fingers to your elbows, ragdoll. And then press again to that flat back, sweep the arms all the way up, returning to that extended mountain where we were before, finding length and space first, and maybe that little back bend. And feel the vessel, the light, the space, the brightness happening here. And on the exhale, lower your arms to your sides. Pause right where we started, mountain pose. And see what that slow sun salutation brought in for you. From mountain pose, let's inhale into Utkatasana, chair pose. Rooting down through the feet, those firm feet, but a little heavier in the heels. You can wiggle your toes. You should be able to see your toes poking in front of your knees. And then feel what's happening with your tailbone. Does it feel like it's tucking under or arching back? See if you can find a neutral place for your tailbone. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Keeping the left foot where it is, step the right foot back, and this time we'll drop the knee to the mat. Dropping the hips into this kneeling lunge. Patting up if that feels good to you. On your inhale, let the arms come up, interlace, or just reach up. And then again, finding that place next to your ears, maybe slightly behind your ears, for a big expansive kneeling lunge. Fill up with breath. And on the exhale, the hands come inside this right foot, sweep the leg back, and let's shift forward, taking this kneeling vinyasa, kneeling plank, chaturanga, opening to cobra, and sending the hips back, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Shifting forward into plank pose, the left knee drops, the right knee finds its way to the top of the mat, kneeling lunge on the second side. Slowly reaching the arms up, finding this expansive posture for the left hip, the rib cage, the belly. Check in with your breath. On the exhale, lower your hands, tuck the back toes. The back foot tiptoes in to meet the front, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Noticing, feeling. Put a deep bend in your knees and inhale, Utkatasana. So we're back where we started this sequence. Maybe sit a little lower. Maybe shine your heart a little farther forward. Can you hear your Ujjayi breath? Inhale the arms high. Find a gentle lift of the chest and then swan dive, forward fold. So we'll move into some deeper stretches here. And here in this forward fold, take your feet a little wider and grab a hold of your big toes with your 2 peace fingers. Lengthen out through the crown of your head, soften your knees, and then gently pull yourself down into a little deeper forward fold. Again, if there's ever any strain or pain in your lower back, you're just going to soften that by bending your knees more. Deep, slow breaths, inviting the back of the body to lengthen and expand. Keeping the hold of your toes, lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. Knees can be bent. Let's go a little deeper. Slide your hands underneath your feet. Find gorilla. So wiggling your toes at the crease of the wrist. Lengthen first, then descend. Breathe. Where can breath shine a little brighter in your body? Release your hands. Let's keep the right foot where it is. Step the left foot back and turn that foot out, reaching the arms up and around into a warrior 2. So I'm not going to be mirroring you, so I'll use my best cues. So the right knee is bent in warrior 2. Straighten the right leg. We're moving into Trikonasana. And we're going to be here for several breaths. So you might want a block or a chair to put your right hand on. So shifting from the right hip, move from the hip. So see how the torso stays long and straight as long as possible. And then the arms tilt into triangle pose. And that's where you might want your hand on a block there next to your foot. This is a really big posture, big in size, but also big in energy. Press through your feet, lengthen through your spine, and let your breath make its way into those places where it's needed. Stay with Ujjayi breath. Let's take a deep breath in, fill your whole body. On an exhale, just bend your right knee coming into side angle. If that feels like a lot of strain on your back, come up a little higher, hand on the knee. So find the foundation. And when you're ready, the left arm reaches up overhead. So your body's making this long slanted line, fingertips to heel, super straight. The beauty of Zoom is if you can see yourself on this screen, you have a mirror, so you can kind of correct your alignment. On the exhale, slowly circle that arm behind you, finding a half bind. And that half bind might feel really good. If you'd like to take a full bind, the right arm reaches underneath and the fingers find each other. And if not, you can use a strap or you can stay with half bind. Try to keep this left shoulder lifted, stacked over the right shoulder, heart shining forward. Deep, slow, and full breaths. Unwind any bind that you have. Begin to lift your torso. If you're using a block, place it in your left hand. We're switching sides. So taking warrior 2 with the left knee bent. When you feel ready, straighten your left leg. Begin to set up the foundation for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Shifting from the hips, reaching forward, and then just windmill the arms into the pose. When you look at yourself in this pose, it should be a lot of long, straight lines. So if you're bent here, come up a little higher. If your knee's really bent, step in a little closer, get a higher block. Give yourself permission to modify so that you have straighter lines of energy. Really nice, everybody. Take a deep breath in triangle. And on the exhale, bend the knee for side angle. Setting up the base however you like or need. And when the base is set, the arm reaches over the head. It's creating that long, like a slippery slide. Perfect angle. Shoulders stacked, heart facing forward, maybe racing too. Breathe. Extended side angle. How's your breath? Slowly circle the arm behind you, find that half bind. Just a really wonderful pose already. And then just see, is this where I want to stay, or would I like to explore that bind under the leg or with a strap? Whichever you've chosen, shoulders remain stacked. The breath easily flows through the pose. If that's not happening, come up a little higher. Change something to allow breath to come back. One more deep breath here, friends. And then release the bind. Bring yourself up to standing. Take the block with you. We're going to turn back toward the front of our mat and drop our back knee to the ground. So moving into our first twist here. The right foot is forward. You can bring your left hand to a block. Option one is to just push on that front knee, that right knee, and roll your shoulders open. Option two is to lift the arm in the air. Let's just see what happens here. Maybe reach that arm in some different angles, but keep the shoulders stacked and breathe. Return that hand to the ground. Bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot, left hand to the low back, and open your chest out away from the bent knee. An outside twist. Breathe here. Notice what's happening in your shoulders. Ron, this is a good neck release, stretching through the front of the shoulder. Just loosening up the neck. And as we come back to center, let's tuck the back toes. Take your block with you. Come through the center around toward your left foot and drop the knee to the mat. Coming into a twist. Right hand on the ground or a block. Start with your left hand on your left knee and then roll your shoulders open to the left. Breathe deeply. Arm can reach or stay down on your leg. One thing that's really interesting is to notice our tendency to want to be somewhere else, to want to be in whatever is next, to be making progress, moving forward. And this practice asks us to be right where we are, washing this dish, eating this meal, having this conversation. As you come back to the center, the left hand comes to the floor or a block. Right hand on your low back, open outward. Into this outside twist. Draw breath into the places where it's most needed. And bring that block with you. We're coming to the center. So tucking the back toes, lifting up, come into Prasarita or wide straddle. Lengthen through the crown of your head and then just exhale, lower down. And as you lower down to find this nice wide stretch, your inner thighs and your hamstrings. If you like, you can reach behind you, interlace your fingers, and open up a little more through the shoulders. For some people, it feels nice to have your head resting on a block here. Take a little of the work away. You can check in with that. Deep, slow breaths. And coming back to a flat back, bring your block with you. Let's come to low lunge. And then go ahead and drop your back knee. If you do have two blocks with you, you're going to use those two blocks. This is also a good place. You could have your hands on a chair in front of you or two chairs on either side of you. We are moving into the splits. Everybody just said, yay. And we start with half split, half Hanuman. So you're just gonna come back here and actually let's rock forward and back. Let's juice these hips, make sure they're good and ready for something a little bit deeper. Remember that the split is a relative term. It's not what it looks like, it's what it feels like in your body. Each of us has a different experience with this posture. come back and hold. Let your hands come forward more. Make sure that hamstring's nice and ready. And then just begin to explore sliding that heel forward a bit. You can keep some weight in your hands in the blocks. Move your back knee back a bit. And come to the edge of your splits, the place where you can hang out, where it's uncomfortable, but it's doable. You could be here for 3 or 4 or 15 minutes. Just find that, wiggle around into that. Find your expression of Hanuman Asana. Once you find it, you might close your eyes and see what's here in this pose that's supposed to be playful. It's designed to be playful. It's designed to invoke curiosity. Breathe. Feel. Purify this vessel. Let the breath come in and clear out the spaces. Yoga is when every cell of the body sings the song of the soul, and sometimes the song is discomfort. Sometimes the song of the soul is sadness, or pain, or grief, and sometimes it's joy. Let every cell of your body sing the song right now in this pose of your soul. With some weight on your hands, tuck your back toes and start to inch your way back to where you can move. You're going to have both of your blocks with you. Come through the center. Turn your toes and just take a gentle lunge side to side. Just an easy little release through the center. Noticing and feeling. And of course, we'll do the other side. So start to bring yourself toward the back of your mat. Drop your knee. Using your props as you like. Shift forward and back. Easy, flowy movement. Never forcing. Always asking. And then come back to find your half split. Walk your hands forward. Let this be the first acknowledgement of this royal, valuable posture. And then if you like to explore Hanuman Asana, scoot your heel forward, scoot your knees back, use your props to find an equal sensation, front hamstring, back hip flexor. And that's, you'll find your limitations in one or the other, and mostly in the way your bones are formed. So find your expression, close your eyes and breathe. Right here. Right now, the song of your soul. Just notice what comes up for you here. The judgment, comparison, competition, should, used to. Let every cell of your body sing the song of your soul right now. Maybe it's surprise, wonder. Take a deep breath in and slowly inch toward the center. Holding your props, tuck your toes and come back to wide straddle. Toes out, a little bit of a lunge, side to side. A little gentleness through the hips. Easy and light. Okay, one more challenging Hatha Yoga posture. Take the feet wide. Keep some weight on an object in front of you. It could be a chair, could be blocks. Start to widen your feet. And come into your expression of the middle splits. And most of us, especially Westerners, are really tight here. And so middle splits might look like something you can drive a truck under. I think it's a good idea if you're up pretty high to keep your feet facing forward so you have some stability, and you definitely have weight in your hands. So we're just finding this new edge, this new inquiry, this new part of us that seems restrictive and tight. We just breathe. And then just inch by inch, see if you can heel toe back to center. You can turn your blocks to help you lift. We've been down there for a while. Hands to thighs, bring yourself to standing. Oh my goodness, shake those out. And I hope if we were in the same room together, I hope there were a lot of whoo, out loud sighs there. Eagle pose, Garudasana, the balancing posture. If you are struggling with balance today, go to a wall, grab a chair, have a block near you. I'll show you how to use this little block. So let's start by standing on our right foot, crossing our left leg over. And so if you want to use that block, there's a little kind of a stool for your toes. Sinking the hips a little lower, this right leg becomes the branch that you're sitting on. So see if you can give your weight to your right leg. The toes can hang out or wrap behind. Lengthen through the spine and open your arms out wide. Cross the left arm underneath the right. And see about winding your arms. You could keep them back to back or a V. See where your arms end up. With each exhalation, you're squeezing. You're squeezing your armpits. You're squeezing your groin. You're wringing out 12 joints. Breathe. Come up to stand, but keep your arms crossed. Inhale, lift the elbows, look up. Exhale, squeeze the elbows in, bend your knees, fold forward. Inhale, come up, lift your elbows. Exhale, squeeze your armpits, bend your knees, drop your fingers and head to the ground. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, lift and look up. Exhale, bend forward. And then as we stand, here's the magic. Super slow, unwind, pause, and feel. Feel the energy, the light rushing into those places that were just pinched and tight. This is one of the ways we can help our lymphatic system move things through the body, by squeezing and then releasing. Take a deep breath in with a sigh. If you use that block as a prop, move it over to your left side. Standing on your left foot, make that branch cross with the right leg. And you can use any props that help you here. The arms open out, chest lifts, right arm crosses under the left. Find your arm position. It's okay if it's not a full bind, back to back is great. The real benefit in this pose is squeezing in the armpits and squeezing at the groin, the place where the lymph nodes are bigger, busier. So squeeze there, just imagine helping your body rid itself of toxins. Purifying the vessel. If you can, sit a little lower, give your weight to that left leg, that branch of the tree, just sit on it. And we'll keep our arms crossed as we step, feet a little wider than we normally do, hips distance. Let's inhale, lift the elbows, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And as we come up, here's the magic. Move slowly as you unwind. Super slow motion. Close your eyes and feel that. That new flood of fresh, oxygenated blood to all of the tissues of your body. New life, new healing. Slowly reach your arms overhead. Let your hands come together through heart center, bend your knees, and come back into a forward fold. Just nod your head yes and shake your head no. Here in this forward fold, you're welcome to use blocks if that feels like it's helpful to you. We're just gonna bend and straighten the knees. Kind of pumping now, the circulation. So option to just stay up here. If it feels okay to you, you could come on your toes and drop all the way down over your heels. So you're kind of squeezing the backs of your knees, squeezing your calves, and then back up to your forward fold. See which one of those makes the most sense. And as our legs come up straight, heel toe your feet wide so that you can come down into your prayer squat. Heels stay on the mat, toes drop off. And remember, for some of us, prayer squat is up here because the knees don't get super happy bending that low. One nice option is to put a block on its high side and give yourself a stool to sit on. Elbows come inside the knees, and the elbows press out as the knees squeeze in. Inhale to lift up through the crown of your head like a turtle coming out of its shell. Love that cue. So the spine is long, the tailbone points down. Just feel all that space you're creating here. Let your right fingertips come to the floor. Left arm reaches up to the corner of the room. Deep breaths, everybody. Come back to center and switch. Left fingertips on the floor, right arm opens. And we're here for a couple more breaths. So if anybody's practicing crow pose and you want to throw out a little arm balance on a Wednesday, go for it. When you've had enough fun here, you get to just drop your booty right to the floor and have a seat. Yes, booty is a Hatha Yoga term. So clearing whatever flesh might be in the way, we're going to come into a big toe hold, forward fold. So to make sure that we can all get into that, let's start with bent knees, long spine, and then reach forward to grab your toes. As you pull with your fingers, you push your toes into your fingers. So kind of like you're pushing the gas pedal of a car, and then start to inch your feet forward until you find your stopping place. If there's a pretty big bend in your knees, slide blocks under your knees. It's a really nice way to just relax a little more into this posture. The chest pulling forward, the spine lengthening. And then you can choose either stay lifted with your chest or fold down over your legs. Listen to your body, avoiding any sharp pain. You're welcome to release your toes and just find some different kind of hand hold. Just taking deep breaths, shining the light. And bring one block with you as you lower down onto your back. Lifting the hips, let the block come underneath you. And then let's bring the legs up in the air and just flex and point the feet, circle the ankles. Arms rest at your sides. This block is so helpful. If you haven't yet invested in a block, that's your homework for today. I saw them last week at Tuesday morning, 2 for $5. So get yourself some props to help your practice. Let your shoulders just rest right underneath you, ankles loose and relaxed. And then bend your knees. Place your feet on the earth, remove the block, and extend your body out into Shavasana. Come down onto your back. Now, this is where the true magic happens. This is the posture all the other postures prepared us for. Yoga is when every cell of the body sings the song of the soul. Pay attention in this resting place to the cells and the singing, the cells and the singing. Taking in another breath that feels like it's lighting up every cell of your body. Let the exhale lead you to little movements of your fingers and your toes, movements of your wrist and your ankles, stretches, yawns, and eventually we will meet in a seat. Bring your hands together in front of you in this gesture of gratitude. And just take a moment in gratitude for whatever it took to get you to your mat today. Whatever organization it took to make the time for yourself. And then let's just pause in gratitude for the teachers that gave us these gifts, these teachings, these tools that help us better unite our mind and our body and our soul. Take this song with you out into the world today, my friends. Namaste.